Dear respected Thai, dear community, in Plum Village tradition, we always start to greet our teacher. Thai means teacher. And it can be anyone as our teacher. It can be towards Thich Nhat Hanh as our teacher. It can be the Buddha as our teachers. And we have a lot of teachers in our life. And you are also teacher. We need to archive this special day because this is our first teacher retreat here in Healing Spring. So I would like to say the date. Anybody remember the date of today? 20? Is that 2020? Yeah. So today is the 20th day of April in the year 2025, and we are in Healing Spring with a cozy retreat for educators. As we share that everyone has teacher inside of us, whether professionally a teacher or not, we are educator. We are a generation. We are coming from the generation before and after us. There are generations coming, not only one generation, but more generation already after us. Even you are still very young, you already have descendant. All the children in the world, all the younger people in the world are your descendant already. So we can have descendant genetically, and we can also have generationally. And we pass on what we have completely to the next generation, and they bring us forward to the future. We are bringing our ancestor to the future. So in that kind of light, we can see that each of us has a responsibility as a teacher, whether professionally a teacher or not. But if you are a teacher, then it is more obvious that you can see every single year you meet young people, you meet somebody who is learning from you, and you transmit yourself to them. And they will bring home whatever gem you have that you transmit to them, whether it is religion, whether it is politics, whether it is languages, whether it is mathematics, whether it is science, etc., etc. Even you are a coach or you are a trainer, you are a dance trainer or theater trainer, you pass the precious thing in you to the person who learned. Yeah. You want to give the best. So that is the the beautiful aspiration of each person who transmit. We transmit ourselves to the others. Yeah. And what we transmit is what we have. We cannot transmit the things that we don't have. So if we have happiness, we transmit our happiness. If we have suffering, we also transmit our suffering to anyone in front of us, even to the nature. But this is not our choice. Sometimes it can be very by default. The transmission can be by default. It is because sometimes our mind is not awakened enough to recognize what is happening. So then we, even ourselves, we don't know what is happening. So we just pass on from the generation before, we hold it and we pass it through without even knowing it that we're passing. It's like the birds, take the walnut. The purpose is to eat, but somehow on the way it fell down to the field. And it passed on a new walnut tree somewhere on the field without being consciously planted over there. So our being is very important as a transmitter. That is why Thai and the Sangha would like to pass the mindfulness energy that we see. It is very helpful for oneself, and it can be helpful for the people around us. So in a teacher program in Plum Village tradition, we are not very interested in providing curriculum for school or for any education institution. Yeah. We are more looking at how can we have a group of community of a people who can be mindful, can be awakened in their mind and knowing what is happening in themselves and know how to take care of it. This morning we listened to the touching of the earth. We are reminded that many times that we don't know we have a certain emotion and we split it out to the others. Because it's not because we want to do it, it's just because an accident that we don't know how to take care of it. We don't know how to calm it down so that it come out in ourselves. Or sometimes we suppress it because maybe people tell us that if you are angry, you are not a good person, so you suppress it until one day you just explode, yeah, or become a physical illness from the emotional level. Because the first day we have learned that body and mind are not separate self. Yesterday we have learned about handling the body. So you know that your body is sitting down, you know that your body is lying down, you know that your body is walking, about to sit, about to stand up. You also practice how to clean with, with mindfulness. And yesterday we have touched a little bit on observing our mind, which is the level of our stress during service meditation. So that is a good introduction already for you to shift from the exercise from the body to the mind. Yeah. So I would like to write on the board. This is a very ancient way of teaching psychology in the time of the Buddha. It's very simple. He just divided into body and mind. I missed one. There's another one that is good. It's not good also. The, I don't know. I think it's okay. You can write. So in the mind, we categorize the mind at that time in 2,600 years, the mind as four things, so that it's easy to remember. So the first one is feeling. The second one is called mental formation. Merci Jeong-Luc. Perception, or sometimes we call it object of mind. Or this one is also sometimes we call it mind. This is the part of the game, which is the inconsistency of vocabulary. And the last one is consciousness. So I just will briefly explain this so that we don't need to go too deep, just to have an idea. The purpose of this morning, just to have an idea. Feelings, we have three feelings: good or pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. And sometimes we say it's a mixture of pleasant and unpleasant. It's like when you get a deep tissue massage, it's painful, but it feels good. So it's a mixture. And the mind, somehow these are both are the same. One is looking from the left and the other one is looking from the right. So it's like a coin of the two sides. You call it, what do you call it? One side is called head, and there's the other one is called tail, but both of them are coin. So we can say this is the head and this is the tail because its object is from behind. Yeah? So we have, in Buddhist psychology, have about 51 kind of different minds, like feeling happy, feeling depressed, feeling anxious, feeling love, feeling compassion, feeling peace, feeling at ease, everything that you can feel in your mind. So the mental formation is like when you say like, now I'm angry, I can feel the anger. These are two sentences. Right? I, I am angry and I feel anger. I feel the presence of anger. But also you say I'm angry. So when you say I'm angry, the angry is mental formation. When you say I will embrace my anger, so the anger become an object of the mind. Yeah. So one is the mind become anger. Let's say your mind before was peaceful, suddenly there's something happen. Your mind now become anger. So this one. And then you have mindfulness practice. So your mindfulness taking care of the anger. So you observe and you are aware of an anger in your mind. So we become object. So they are both are the same. And then consciousness is the contact between the body and the object. So when your eyes touch an object, you have consciousness of the eyes. When your nose touch scent, odor, then your nose have consciousness arising. Right now, maybe you don't smell something strong, then your nose consciousness is not very awake. Yeah? Now your eyes is very active. Eye consciousness, your ear consciousness is very active. And your mind consciousness is also very active. So body is like your five senses. And then the other one, the last one, is the mind and the object of mind. So there are six senses. So every time your body touch an object consciously, you have a consciousness. And when your mind touch an object, then you have a consciousness called mind consciousness. Until now, it's okay? So when we talk about consciousness in Buddhism, it's about that consciousness. So it is not a consciousness that in a form of light, like a separate from everything. It's not something that fill in your body. Yeah? So we don't talk about that kind of consciousness. Maybe from the other school, they probably explain consciousness in that way. But in the Buddhist practice, we explain consciousness as a contact between the body or the mind touch an object. And it makes called 18 phenomena, because we have 5 senses plus 1, the mind, right? Plus the 5 object plus the 1 object. So we have, and then it becomes 5 consciousness here, and then you have plus 1 consciousness. So 6 plus 6 plus 6. So we have, so 6 times 3, then you have 18. So that is the whole world that we are creating through our body and our mind. So now I have exercises for you from this book. Because in the feeling, it's very difficult to practice feeling. How can you practice pleasant and unpleasant from the mind? Yesterday you have a pinch. So it's easier that you can feel it physically. But how can you feel it in the mind? Yeah. So I have an exercise. Okay. Are you ready? So what you need to do, you just need to say, is this a pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling or neutral? Let's say, just an example. When I say apple, do you have a feeling? Good or bad? They are good, they are neutral, depends. Each person will be different. This is not about uniform. Huh? When I say spider, who is good? Who is not good? Who is neutral? So everyone can be different reaction. So it depends on our consciousness, right? So I want you to practice breathe with what come out. So if like, okay, you breathe with this one. There's no name. It's just unpleasant. And if it is pleasant, you breathe with the pleasant. If there's no reaction, you breathe with a neutral feeling. Okay? We do some exercise. Let us listen to one sound of the bell. And then I will read the sentences one by one. And you just breathe with it. Aware of my eye, I breathe in. Aware of the bright light, I breathe out. Aware of eyes, aware of light. Aware of my ears, I breathe in. Aware of the sound of beautiful violin, I breathe out. Aware of my ear, aware of the sound of the violin. Aware of my ear, I breathe in. Aware of silence, I breathe out. Aware of ears, aware of silence. Aware of my skin, I breathe in. Aware of the spring sunshine on my skin, I breathe out. Aware of skin, aware of the sunshine. Aware of my skin, I breathe in. Aware of cool water on my skin, I breathe out. Skin, cold water. Aware of my teeth, I breathe in. Aware of an apple, I breathe out. Teeth, apple. Aware of my teeth, I breathe in. Aware of lemon juice, I breathe out. Teeth, lemon juice. Aware of my teeth, I breathe in. Aware of dentist drill, I breathe out. Teeth, dentist drill. Aware of my tongue, I breathe in. Aware of the taste of orange juice, I breathe out. Tongue, orange juice. I hope you can experience the changing of feelings of each sentences. Is that correct? Mentally or really, you can feel it really sometimes. So that is called pleasant and unpleasant. And each person can be different. So these exercises is not for guiding people to feel good or bad. It depends on the one who listen to the guided. And this is exercise, there are about 20 something that you can just read and just change from one feeling to the other. Because if we never train to feel one feeling after another consciously, so when you have a situation, then it's too late to try to catch, is this a good feeling or a bad feeling? Because it's very subtle. It has no form. It's not as much, it's not as clear as when you get pinched. Yeah? Yesterday you do exercise of pinching. So this is a very good exercise and I love it very much because it can help me to recognize what is good feeling, what is bad feeling, and I can breathe with it. Especially the unpleasant feeling because we we need to be able to handle that unpleasant feeling because we have a tendency to run away when we feel bad. We try to find a, we go into this problem solving mode directly when we have unpleasant feeling and we don't want to continue that anymore. We want to get in touch with, engage with, and to understand. And the text in this morning, I love the phrase called incomplete understanding. Yeah. It's because we don't understand completely the unpleasant feeling. Yeah. Like yesterday teaching from Brother Fab Liu, you probably, when you know that you are not having toothache, you should be happy sometime. Yeah. Or every time we remember that we don't have toothache, we should feel happy. So that is very important. Um, the the training for the feeling. So that one is the first one. And now we want to practice mental formation and the perception or object of the mind. This is also very nice. So before you have the name is only pleasant, unpleasant. Now you have a name on each sentences. You have a name that come up in your mind. I give you an example. Um, let's say someone give you beautiful gift. How you call that feeling? Huh? You have gratitude, you have happiness. So there's a name to it. So you call the name. So when I say someone give you a present, and then you have this feeling and you call the name. You learn how to call the name. Yeah. Or when I say to you, this afternoon we will not see anyone anymore, each other in this hamlet. So call the name. As soon as you listen to that, something coming up, call the name, and you breathe with what you call. If you call sadness, okay, you breathe with the sadness. In, out, in, out. This is sadness, and I breathe in and out. Or when I say contemplating on the politics nowadays. Call the name if it is anxiety, if it is fear, if it is uncertainty. Call the name and breathe with it. Yeah. Okay? So that is kind of like the exercise. The feeling of insecurity. You kind of like roughly try to understand if you feel insecure, how it feels, and you breathe with that insecurity. Yeah. Because all the feeling is there in our consciousness. Or let's say, aware of your anger, I breathe in. Smile to my anger, I breathe out. You remember when you get angry. So you remember that anger. So that the purpose is to know the differences between you feel angry, between you feel sad, between you feel anxious, between you feel happy, between you feel peaceful. You want to have all different differences. Yeah. Okay, let's try. Let us breathe in, out together. Experiencing the joy of freedom in me, I breathe in. Smiling to the joy of freedom in me, I breathe out. Joy of freedom, smiling. Experiencing the feeling of anger in me, I breathe in. Smiling to the feeling of anger, I breathe out. Experiencing anger, smiling. Experiencing the feeling of gratitude, I breathe in. Smiling to the feeling of anger, I breathe out. Experiencing freshness, I breathe in. Smile to the freshness, I breathe out. Freshness, smile to freshness. So this is a small exercise. Hopefully you can feel the difference between one after another. And there are more. You can make it yourself if you want to try. You make the list that you normally have, and you make the list that you normally forget. And you practice breathe with it, one after another. Yeah. So we do need to have this skill because the exercise of the feeling is to know when you are happy, when you are joyful, we breathe in and out with that. So if you don't know what is happiness and joy, then you cannot breathe with it. And also there is a breathing in, I breathe with a painful feeling. If you never know what is unpleasant feelings, then you know you have no chance to breathe with that feeling. So this is a very good exercise. And then we go on, there is another exercise on the mind, which is aware of the mind. So this is an exercise where we have to be able to call all different mind that arising based on condition. So we need to catch quite early to know what is happening so that you have an agency to take care of it, not to push it away, not judging, but to take care of it. It's like sometimes we evilize anger, but actually anger is a good thing. It's a sign for us to be aware that something is strong happening, so that we need to take care of the condition to take a good decision on the situation. It's a response from our nervous system. It's like the flame. The flame is not good, it's not bad. But it can be good, it can be bad too. If the flame, you put it in the candle, it's so beautiful. But if it burn the house, it's very quite dangerous, right? So it depends on how we regulate that flame. This is applied to all kind of emotion. It's not about good or bad. It's about how you regulate that. And in order to regulate that, you need to know how to embrace it, to take care of it. And the first thing we need to know is to know how to be aware of it, to call its name, to be able to, this is that, this is this is that. Second is to gladden the mind. To gladden the mind here means you are able to remember that they are all good emotion is also in you. So when we feel angry, the first thing we need to do is to have a good mind, which is the acceptance that I'm angry. And you know also you can cultivate peace by walking meditation, by deep relaxation. So that is many ways. The things that I share is just an example how to glad your mind so that the good mind can arise also at the same times. And the best to start is to have the mindfulness mind coming up. So you start by breathing and walking mindfully. So you have mindfulness arise in your mind to take care of whatever you are aware of. And the third is concentrated. The mind. Concentrated the mind, it means you really stay with the mind because you want to understand. Concentrated, you want to understand why you get angry, why you feel so angry, why you feel so anxious, why you feel so afraid. Because without concentrated the mind, you won't have understanding of what you are having. Yeah? So, but first you need to calm it down, and then the next one is to understand. By concentrating the mind, you can understand so many things. Yesterday, we had a conversation on why we don't trust each other. And we see our culture, maybe because of our culture, yeah, that has built that so that we don't trust each other. So when we have distrust on ourselves and others, we know that we can call it clearly that this is not me, this is also my society, this is also my generational transmission. So I can do something with that, I can transform it. So with the concrete mind, a concentrated mind, we can investigate the object. Then there are many ways for investigation of what the mind is. We call it looking deeply. This is maybe you will learn for the next retreat. And the next one is liberated the mind. This is pretty much related to our understanding. We can only release our anger, our fear, our anxiety if we know that we have misunderstanding. When we have a misunderstanding, something may happen. Like say, you see someone do something, we perceive that that person is offending us, and then we get angry. But actually, when you check, maybe that person is in hurry and they just like, speak very shortly to you, but they don't have intention to kind of like ignore you. So when we know the real reason, then our mind that arising that is not nice, it will be dissolved directly. As soon as we have a good understanding, that mind will dissolve directly. This is applied to all kinds of feeling, emotion that we have, including, let's say, we are so attached to sweet food, let's say, and we want to let go, but we cannot. So we can understand that deeply why I don't need that sweet things much as that. As soon as you have understanding, that craving for sweets will disappear directly. So the mind will be liberated. I want to stop here. And so I hope that you have kind of glimpse on how to breathe with your feelings and how to recognize your mind. And this is a very short explanation on how to practice with the mind. Yeah. Don't learn too much. Just do it. And if you want to learn more, come back for another retreat or go to our application or YouTube. There are many teachings on all different teachings. And they are all about these 4 things, the 5 things: body, feeling, mental formation, perception, and consciousness. We are not talking out of that. Yeah. Thank you for listening. We listen to one sound of the bell, and I want to invite, sorry for this morning, maybe I will take a little bit longer for the walking meditation. I want to invite Karin and Ira to share a little bit their path, why they still stay in the Sangha and practice. Because Karin, when you start? 2015. So it's about 10 years now. And Ira?
In this tradition,
yeah,
in the Plum Village tradition, 2008.
8. So it's a while. It's almost like you come for the first time and retreat and you stay for 15 years. How can you do that? So I want to invite them to share, like each person maybe 10 minutes to just share. So before we share, I would just want to ask, do you mind to be filmed? Do you mind to be filmed? You are free, yeah? No pressure. Okay, please come and maybe bring a chair so that we can.
I started in this tradition actually very, was spontaneous because I wanted to work on my suffering. I wanted to establish a meditation practice, and I wasn't disciplined enough at home to do it by myself. So I thought I would go to a retreat for 2 weeks, and I thought, yeah, after that I would meditate regularly, which actually happened. I could take this home, I could incorporate it. In the beginning, it was enough, just 5 minutes. I realized before I went to Plum Village, it was kind of, oh, I have to sit an hour at least, so that it counts. But that's not the point. And I put myself under pressure before that. And I knew when I went home, okay, so I will just have 5 minutes if 5 minutes is good. And so slowly, I increased my meditation time. And I went to a couple of retreats over the years. And I found out at some point that there was a kind of a happy teacher's book. And I found out about the Happy Teacher Sangha. And so I looked into this Sangha online, and was very supported. Felt very, very much supported by them, because there were a lot of teachers, and they were talking about similar issues that I was encountering in my professional life. So basically, my path was kind of first to stabilize myself, or to stabilize my practice, and with the support of a sangha, I could stabilize then and be get deeper into the practice. And there was an option then to, with Ira and with another friend, to join the Happy Teacher Sangha international team. So now we offer once a month on an international basis the Sangha. And so anybody can join. And this is also a place where teachers can come, or educators. I'm more an educator. I see myself more as an educator for children with special needs. And so you also have social workers, or people, yoga teachers when I see you, or instructors. And we support each other in our professional lives, but also personal lives. And so it was, at some point, we thought maybe we can support, for example, the retreat here. At some point, we thought maybe we can offer a retreat, which we are offering. Because I feel very compassionate about sharing with other teachers, with other educators, the support that we have when we're in a community, and when it's kind of affinity based, which is also professional teachers as a profession, or as what we do. Yes. So it makes me happy that this weekend we could come here and we could get to know you, get to share our paths, I could share my path with a few of you. And maybe we will later on, maybe write on the board the links to the Happy Teachers International Sangha. But I just had a little sharing. There are, of course, other sanghas. There are a lot of local sanghas, but also, and I'm not, this sounds like I'm doing an advertisement for the sanghas. I'm not, this is not my intention. But I realized after some years of being alone on my path, I really felt that it would be good to have a sangha, and I don't have one, a local sangha near me. So I was fortunate enough in 2020 to participate in an online retreat, which was not about teaching at all. It was called Cooling the Flames, which was about anger. And from this sharing group, we created a sangha, and we're still meeting. So this was 2020. Of 2025, we meet every Sunday from California to Sweden to Spain. And it's beautiful. It's a small sangha, but there are, and we support each other very much, even though it's presume, and we've never met each other in person. So I think both ways of having a local sangha, but also the Zoom sanghas, are very supportive. So I can only encourage you to, if you want to take this path, also to kind of look for a sangha, either local or online.
Thank you. Means community, path to the teacher's path.
Path to the teacher's path.
Teacher's community path.
Well, like so many, I came to the practice through suffering. I was married, I had small children, and I had a lot of ideas how I wanted to be and how ideal wanted to be, an ideal mother, an ideal wife, an ideal teacher, professional. And nothing worked. It was just too much stress. So this is actually how I came to meditate. And it helped me a lot. And I'm so grateful for the situations that came up. And I met 2009 in a retreat. I met Bettina Romhard. She's a Dharma teacher. She was actually a nun for quite some years in Plum Village. And my first retreat was so wonderful. It helped me so much. So, and then I moved to this part of Berlin, and she invited me to the Sangha. It was all happening at once. In 2009, I joined the Sangha in Berlin, Zehlendorf. And then a couple of years later, Bettina asked me to help facilitate with the Sangha. And I took the 5 mindfulness trainings. And the Sangha gave me so much. It just helped me. It just helped me to deal with whatever there is and really recognize feelings, recognize suffering, and I felt the practice that the Dharma just helps me so much in how to deal with the difficult emotions. And then it was so wonderful because Bettina's husband, then Kai, is also a Dharma teacher. He came to me and said, he knew I was a teacher, and he said to me, do you know that there's a teacher's retreat at the EIB? And I said, no way. And for me, this was just so wonderful to be able to connect. Now I had a quite stable practice for myself, but somehow I felt my practice is not really connected with my profession. Somehow they seem to be, yeah, they didn't seem to be so connected. And then I went, I think it was 2016, actually, that was Taifa Blue and Taifa Dung. They planned the first educators retreat and they wanted to do it just 5 days, but somehow they miscalculated and they did it for 9 or 10 days, which was just absolutely wonderful. And we were a big community. We are like 60 practitioners from all over the world at the EIB. And this inspired me so much. And we were already planning to publish the book, the Happy Teachers book, and talked about the manuscript. And yeah, it was great. And from then on, I went to every teachers retreat there was. Richard Brady invited me to help him in Avalokita in Italy, which is a wonderful center, Magic Mountains, and yeah, and then Bettina asked me to join the Order of Interbeing, but that was too early for me. I don't know. My husband was always a little bit scared. What is she doing? And Order of Interbeing, and the children were still living at home, so I wasn't ready. But then I found, okay, then Richard Brady and Taifa Blue, they asked me, don't you want to do a teacher training? And so I agreed. And because nothing like that was ever happening in Germany, they said, oh, Bettina is your mentor. They knew Bettina because she had been a nun there. And then Bettina and myself, we just sort of invented a teacher training for me, and it was just wonderful. And I had a wonderful time and got to know more of the teachers community. And I wanted to be there for the teachers because I've seen all the suffering at schools, all the testing, all the stress, and yeah, I really had the strong desire to follow this path, especially for the teachers. But then I continued, of course, always with my own practice, and I thought, okay, now it's time. My children moved out of the house, and my husband trusted more and more, and he saw that this was actually great for our marriage and great for everybody. So he wasn't afraid of me anymore when I said, what about joining the Order of Interbeing? And he said, okay, I respect this. And he even offered to come to the ceremony. And yeah, and really is very interested now, although he said it's not for me. But so I continued the path. And last year, finally, I had the ceremony. This is why I'm wearing the brown jacket as a sign. I love it because I feel it protects me. It's not like me, Ira, the individual. I don't know. I feel like, okay, I'm sitting here and Tai helps me, and especially Bettina, who's with me very much. I mean, I love Bettina so much, and I'm so grateful to her. Yeah, I can just, yeah, retreats with her are wonderful. Yeah, and so the mentoring was good, and I'm so happy I can be on this path. And at schools, I had lots of ideas, lots of ambitions. I wanted to create a school sangha and all this, much, much too big. We tried it for a while, which was nice with students and teachers. And actually, a student recently came to me and said, oh, what a pity that no, that this is too much, because we stayed longer after classes. And of course, everybody wanted to go home. And so it fell apart. But maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll manifest. But now, for me, the most important thing is that I embody the practice. So for me, even if the whole school is running, I have especially one floor. It's coming up the stairs, and I always teach on the 4th floor, coming up the stairs. I try to go there mindfully, and I try to go mindfully from the end of the stairs to my classroom. And I know when I go this little stretch mindfully, then it's so different how I enter the classroom. It's so different. So, and then I stand there and yeah, I can be and feel my body, and then I'm ready for the class. And then ideas come, and I can be present for who's there. Yeah. I think the 10 minutes are up. Yeah, thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Karin and Hira, to come to support us and to practice with us too.